I'm so over it, you dude. Like Michael is doing some more research for another future project that him and I are doing, and like he was like, "Hey, try to find more like YouTubers that are here. I'm gonna change the screen really quick. Find more YouTubers that are actually fat acceptance." So not like anti-fat acceptance people, but like actual YouTubers that are doing more than just beauty, but like actual fat acceptance on YouTube. And I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, most of them are on like strictly on TikTok and on Instagram, and I think it's because that's where the young people are. Good morrow, everybody. My name is Robin, also known as SunnySideUpGal, and you are my Sunny Side Up pal. Good day, good morrow, and good afternoon. Today we have a very special guest. We've got our friend Graphically Alex,
Nikki.
as per
No, I'm just kidding.
our one of our favorite recurring guests here, because
Yeah.
we are quite the clique. But Graphically Alex is
Yes.
a homie. And today we're going to be chit-chatting and talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is, if you can probably guess, it's going to be fat logic on Reddit. Yes. We love fat
Yes.
logic. We love people being fat logical. We don't love it, actually, but we like to talk a lot of trash about it.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Of course. And just so people know, I'm referencing obsession because I'm obsessed with obsession. Okay. And you should all go see the movie. And this video is spawned. No, I'm just kidding. It's not.
This
I
video is
wish it
sponsored, not
was.
sponsored.
It's not. That's a lie. That was fake. Fake news. But go see the movie. It was amazing. But anyways,
Yes, I do plan on watching it. I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters because, I'm trying to save my money.
yeah.
But I do want to see that movie with Ryan Gosling, the Hail Mary Project. So we watched it yesterday. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Probably one of the best movies I've ever seen. Not only was it beautiful and pretty and like just a great picture, but the story. I mean, I was crying over a rock, basically. Great, like original idea. And if you liked the movie Interstellar, you would really like this movie. But he's
Mhm.
already seen it.
It's more calm than
Yeah,
obsession.
yeah, then
Yeah.
yeah. Michael has been on a space kick lately because he's got OCD, ADHD, so he hyperfixates on some stuff. So he's been on space and wormholes and like black
I love
holes,
it.
and yeah. So we're super into space movies lately. Yesterday we watched The Core. We also watched, what else did we watch? Oh, we watched The Machinist, which we have never seen. That was a freaky movie. I don't know if he's ever seen that movie
Oh,
with Christian Bale, where he had to lose like a shit ton to play the role.
no. I should.
Oh,
Is it like a
dude.
horror movie?
Psychological thriller.
Maybe I should watch it
I
because
would
I'm
say that it's
so
like,
I've
if I
been
could put movies into a hat, I would say it's in the same hat as Requiem. Like it's kind of
oh,
like that,
okay.
like just
I
like
was gonna say
mind
because
fuck.
I've been very like talking about the uppers, and I'm just kidding. I did have to get off the caffeine because I was like a little
Oh, yeah,
sad.
this is an obsessive movie. This is an obsessive movie. It's
Okay.
on YouTube, so you're on the YouTube whatever, so
Mm.
you can if you go to movies on YouTube, it's on there for free. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Okay.
check it
I'll have to
out.
check it out because I
Uh,
I do like that stuff, as you know.
yeah, it's obsessive, and I was just like, what the hell? But yeah, it was really good. All right, so today we're going into fat logic. If you guys are unaware of what fat logic is, let me read you the definition. If I could actually, I'll put the definition here and maybe do a voiceover. Okay. All right, so we're going to go up to the top, and I want to do new, which it is set to new. So we're at the newest part of fat logic, and we're just going to chit, we're going to chat, and we're going to talk a lot of fat logic and as per usual. So I am once again asking for people to cease with the obesity is fine because old-timey artist dug fat chicks is nonsense. Mona Lisa is the most famous portrait ever painted, and millions of people flock to the Louvre to admire her enigmatic smile every year. As well as being beautiful, Mona Lisa was, according to some experts, also seriously overweight. It doesn't look like that to me. If I'm thinking, I'll plug the picture of
Weird.
the Mona Lisa if y'all don't know what that is. Now they are asking how that leaves our notions of artistic beauty in an era of weight loss drugs such as Wegovy and Mounjaro, arguing that in future GLP-1 face could become the subject of modern depictions of artistic beauty. Oh my gosh. Contemporary art often portrays trends in aesthetics, body image, and health. Lots of painters and photographers have made art featuring cosmetic surgery, for example, but researchers believe the exponential growth and use of weight loss jabs is changing our perception of beauty, with further artworks likely to depict thin people with gaunt faces who have
Oh
lost
my
weight
God.
rapidly while on GLP-1 medication. So what a beautiful imagination that this person has. Like I would have never even this
I
actually sounds like a really cool like dystopic novel.
I think we need to get them a budget and they need to make a fat acceptance horror movie. And I think if they ever make a fat acceptance horror movie, then me, you, and Angelica, we all will have to do like a group three-way
A watch
reaction
party.
to the
Yeah.
entire movie. And like, we'll just have to do it because I'm wondering if they will do the Ozempic horror movie, but I don't
Mhm.
know because to me, this is so glazing it up. Like this is glazing up GLP-1 so much. Like it's amazing. It's taking over the whole world. It's like they really exaggerate how many people are using it. It really isn't that
Yeah.
popular. It's
Yeah,
really
it's
not.
not. I mean, it's expensive. It's
It's
and a
popular
lot.
for diabetes. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
But
exactly I mean, how many people are diabetic anyways?
well, I would say, okay, so 72% of people are overweight or obese, and I think that maybe 40% are diabetic out of those people. So not a huge, I mean, not like
Mm,
half, but like
yeah.
of the population, but like a big portion of the population. I think I could, I'll
I mean,
plug in,
it's too
in
big.
post.
Maybe
Yeah,
it
it's a
is like
lot.
20, something like that. It's too much, but it's like you said, it's not like 70% of people are diabetic. It isn't
Yeah,
like that. So I'm like,
exactly.
it's popular within diabetes, but it's
Hmm.
not popular in society. There's actually a lot of stigma on taking Ozempic, which this post is contributing to. And there's also a
Right.
lot of overglorification within certain spaces, but most people are completely apathetic or don't care at all. That's
Yeah.
what you're typically going to have because
Yeah.
not everybody cares what celebrities do. And I also think it doesn't always look good if you're talking about from a vanity perspective. I agree with that,
Yeah.
so some people don't really love that. But but I think that's the same with any cosmetic surgeries that can go too far. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like the buccal fat removal, I think it looks horrible. I think it does. But people have their opinions and whatever, but I'm not into it.
I think yes, they're playing into this imagination that a lot of people are doing, and I mean, a lot of people are doing it for weight loss. Like I will agree with that, but I don't think it's going into nowadays. You and I are, I would say, normal people. We can look at somebody who's got like the Ozempic face and be like, ew, nobody, I don't think anybody is going to be putting that into art.
No.
Maybe they're talking about movies and stuff like that. It just seems like an imagination. It just seems like they're reaching,
Or it seems like maybe they would be the one to paint the art. Maybe they're obsessed with it. I mean, there is a lot of, I've noticed, especially within like bloater levels, which I would say on my channels, people who are very severely within a certain issue that must not ever be spoken of, they tend to glorify the reductive side a lot
Yeah, they
to
put it
the
on a
point where
pedestal.
maybe they would paint a painting of it, because they see it as some kind of holy grail, but I don't, and the vast majority of people don't.
Yeah. I
And
wonder if they
so
do that, if they like if they do that because that they believe that it's something that is unattainable without like, pain or suffering. Like I could see
I
one of
think
them
so.
doing like putting that in an art form because it does feel like something like fantasy almost.
Maybe like there's a folklorification of it or
Yeah.
something. Like I will say, like being in great shape or trying to have like a vanity journey or an aesthetic goal, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work and a lot of pain. And I talk about it a lot on my channel, probably to a point where people would rather me not talk about it because of how much I talk about it. But it's
Yeah.
like even in private, I've talked to you and Angelica about how
Yeah,
awful it
you're
is.
like I'm
Hard. I'm so sore. Oh my God. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like basic. I told you I'm ready to turn into Nikki from the movie. So
Mhm.
I get it, but it's like it's not really folklorish. It's just kind of like I'm an emotional girly pop that doesn't like that it's hard.
Yeah.
Well, oh well,
Yeah.
but I
Well,
want the result.
they're all
Yeah.
lying to each other saying that like weight loss is impossible, which what do you
Yeah.
mean? They literally do say that like changing your body is different is not possible. You'll just go back, you'll just bounce right back, and it's like, okay, lady.
Right.
Okay. Professor Rosalind Gill, fellow at the British Academy and professor of inequalities. That's a weird thing to be a professor of. Oh, inequalities in media. Sorry, I didn't finish that. Culture and creative industries at Goldsmith said, while GLP-1 face is often regarded negatively, humans have the capacity to perceive beauty in all kinds of faces and bodies, and features of this hollowed outlook are definitely becoming desirable in a similar way to heroin chic in the 1990s, and before that, the resignification of certain iconic images of people with AIDS as beauty ideals. That's crazy. I didn't know that, if that's real. Add this to voracious consumer culture with brands constantly in search of new looks to sell to us, and it is eminently impossible that the variant of GLP-1 will now be new cultural ideal as reflected in art. Okay, I can actually see what they're talking about. Like you were talking about the buccal fat removal, and you're
Mhm.
like, I don't like the way it looks. I kind of like the way that it looks.
Wow.
Am I toxic? Yes, I kind of like, but I don't like it if it's not on like if it is in addition to like an extremely thin body. So like they have already a thin body, they didn't get like, the high cheekbones that they wanted, then they got the buccal fat and like now they look like a shape. I don't know, like they look like a square or something like
To
that.
me, it
But
ages you so much. I
yeah,
think
I
it's very
agree.
aging. And I also think I just don't think it looks good at all. I just don't.
I think
But
why
yeah,
I like it, why I think it looks good on some people. I would never, right? But I think why I like it
you
is it
better
because it
not.
adds like I know, right? I think it adds contour without makeup, like without contour. So I see a little bit of like
You can see
ease,
why.
Yeah, I can see
Mhm.
like why it looks, appealing. But I bet if you were, I mean, they're getting pictures taken at like the nicest angles. I bet if you were there sitting
Mhm.
next to somebody in a car with buccal fat removal, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with your face?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not natural. Like you have, you need that stuff. But yeah, it doesn't look good if you I guess yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I really don't like it. I just I can see why
Mhm.
somebody would like it.
Well, to me too, I think it's just companies will try to sell anything. Like they tried to make obesity a thing for a moment. Like it doesn't really necessarily affect culture or create culture in the way that they view it because
Hmm.
culture is not that monolithic, I guess, is my stance. Like there are certain people that are obsessed with status. And I do think a lot of university people are. They're very obsessed with it. So they will look at what media is pushing, and that is ultimate truth. And that is ultimate the goal of every single person. But there's a
Hmm.
lot of just people in general that don't give a fuck about what celebrities are doing, which is what I try to say all
Yeah.
the time. Because
Yeah.
for as many people who care about it, there's so many more that don't. And then
Yeah. Way more.
there's a lot that are like me, and I care about very specific celebrities, and that's it. Like, for example, Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo, I care about what they're doing, but I don't give a fuck about like what random person, maybe now I care about the girl that played Nikki. I'm starting to get to know her, but but I'm just saying it's like I don't care about every single celebrity, and I'm a fan of who I'm a fan of. And like if Taylor Swift got buccal fat removal, I would think it looked horrible. I still would think it
Yeah.
looked bad, but I would
Yeah.
actually care enough to talk about it.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like, but I wouldn't ever feel like, well, they did it, now I have to. What is that? That's so weird.
No, yeah,
It's
because
so,
guess what? They're
especially as an
not normal.
adult.
Yeah, they're not normal people. They're
Yeah.
being paid to be on in front of a camera, so they're doing all this stuff that they feel is necessary to do. You are a normal person. Why would you need
Mhm.
buccal fat removal to look like somebody who gets paid to be in front of a picture? That's fucking weird. You're not being
Yeah.
paid to be in front of a camera. You know, like I can
Yeah.
see why they feel like it's necessary, but yeah, I don't care about celebrities. I feel like maybe I used to. I care about like my
Yeah.
old celebrities, like Viva La Bam. Like I care about Bam Margera. Like I care about what goes on in his life right now, because he's a
Mhm.
recovering drug addict and alcoholic, which
Mhm.
like I'm gonna be rooting him on. But as far as like Kardashian or Taylor Swift,
Mm.
sorry, I don't care. I don't care about the wedding.
No,
The only
that's
thing
fine.
I do care about, like, I guess, like, the fashion part. I have a friend on here, Emily, and we talk a lot about fashion. We do like, I like the Met Gala. Like, I like looking at
Mm,
the, the art behind fashion and stuff like that and dresses.
that's fair enough. I'm like, ugh, I think a lot of it's
Yes.
ugly. But
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, art is subjective, but I like fashion. But that's as far as that and like celebrities, like, nah, I don't care.
Mhm. Well,
You
and to
know.
be fair too, like I may comment on Taylor, but she's gotten work done and I like most of it, you
Do you
know.
really think she does? She has?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely. She got
really?
eye surgery. It's very obvious, but and she also has very obvious boob job going on. She really got it for Travi. It was pretty obvious, in my
What?
opinion. That's my speculation. But no, she got it around I
What?
think 2023, like around ish. It was very
That's
obvious.
crazy.
But
Damn.
for me, mostly my criticisms of Taylor is her fashion is really bad a lot of the time. It's so bad. And I just don't understand why someone like her doesn't just hire a stylist.
Well, I think
And
that she does. She has this. I don't know if she has a stylist, but I feel like she has to fit that, like her preppy. Isn't that like her shtick?
well, whatever she's been doing with Travis, it's just horrible. She looks horrible.
Oh, you
But
think so? Okay.
her era that was really bad was her lover era. That was probably the worst, where she dressed absolutely atrocious. So I don't know if I wonder if she just didn't like her ex that much, Joe, and it was like some kind of protest that she was doing because she looked horrible. And I think she was trying to go for like this 2019 Britishy style that just was ugly. It was horrible. But then she did like the folklore thing where she kind of went lesbo a little bit, and I liked that because then she had like all the flannels and stuff.
Well, that's because you're a lesbian.
But I'm just saying, it was giving total lesbo, and I'm not a gayler, but I'm a biler. I do think she's bi, so people can hate on me for that. I don't care. I'll take that hate. But the point is, you see, like I can get into it, but do I care about like do
Mm.
I care about everybody? You shouldn't. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. Okay, let's move on because people are gonna be like, I thought this was an anti-fat acceptance
Sorry.
channel. What are we doing here? All right, her prediction follows research by Dr. Michael Yaffe, a pediatric endocrinologist at the University of Houston, Texas, presented at the European Congress on Obesity, Istanbul. Presented at the European Congress on Obesity in Istanbul, he speculated that while some artists, notably the Brazilian painter Fernando Botero, continue to celebrate heavier figures, weight loss drugs would influence how people are portrayed in artworks. I think that as more important, I think it's Nope. I think that as more people use these drugs, GLP-1 face will be depicted in art, he told the conference. The face can develop an aged or tired look due to rapid fat loss in the cheeks, temples, and under eye areas. I am sure that if Picasso would have been alive today, he would have painted it. Understanding that society's definition of what makes a body beautiful has changed would help medics provide better care. Wait, what? Understanding that society's definition of what makes a body beautiful has changed would help medics provide better care, Yafi added. That's what? That's so weird to me. Maybe they would be able to associate that like sunken in cheeks would be unhealthy. I don't know. If physicians see that obesity was for centuries viewed as a positive thing, it will help them be
Oh,
non-judgmental and more empathetic. So they're saying that physicians use art as a reference instead of like actual book work and history of obesity killing people. Like
I
that doesn't make
guess.
any sense to me. He said that this should allow them to treat patients more holistically and ultimately successfully. I'm not really feeling this one. From plump cherubim and angels in Renaissance art to many of Rubens and Renoir's paintings, overweight and obese people were historically represented positively in art. Corpulence was seen as a sign of wealth, status, and well being. Well, guess what? Now it's seen as a sign of unbeing. Unbeing? Ill will. Nope. Sickness. Illness. There we go. God, I can't talk.
Yeah. Well, also too, like cherubim angels that are just kind of plump. It's really
Yeah, they're
different than
babies.
being like smo.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
super morbidly
Yeah.
obese. It's totally different. And then also cherubim look like babies,
Yeah,
so
they're
it's kind
also
of different.
like mythical. Like they're not like, they're not walking around every day, you know.
Yeah,
They're also not being depicted sitting on a couch while their kid microwaves their hot dogs for them. So,
yeah, pretty much.
strongmen, leaders, royal families, religious people, high people in the society were portrayed as high BMI, Beautiful women and models were also portrayed with high BMI. Okay, so I can understand that, if that was ever the beauty standard. It sounds like it was also their portion or their version of like celebrity that today is. So I doubt that many people back in the day were that size, right? Because obviously they were
Mhm.
saying that it represented high leaders, royal families, very, very
Mhm.
small population of people. And we know, famine and obesity was not as famine was common, obesity was not
Mhm.
common in the time that they're bringing up these artworks, right? Like Rubens, I think, is like
Mhm.
super old. Um, Renaissance times, basically. I'm just not. I think the fact that the person who's explaining this, a Gaffy or whatever, is a professional, a medical professional, and meant to be taken seriously, but bringing up the fact that like Renaissance art, so art from a very long time ago, and cherubim and angels were fat, and we should appreciate that for today, and like use that for to better the help that people get in a medical situation. It just seems like a joke to me. Like, it doesn't seem like I should take this person seriously.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the second half of the 20th century when scientists discovered saturated fats, trans fats, and their association with metabolic and cardiovascular disorders that body image as expressed in art began to change. This led to images of thin, often unrealistically thin men and women being glorified and obesity being stigmatized. So, art is the reason why fat people are being stigmatized.
I guess.
Yeah, suddenly thin people became beautiful, and the women who inspired artists for centuries were no longer being considered attractive. Okay. Some scientists believe Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. Oh, this is where we're coming from. It started with Mona Lisa. Okay, some scientists believe Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa was very unhealthy and that she had a problem with her BMI, cholesterol, and severe hypothyroidism. Why would they say that? Is it because her eyebrows are missing? I can see that. All right, we don't know because we cannot go back and make a diagnosis. We are just analyzing her features. So we're judging her based off how she looks. Art historian Bender Grosvenor cautioned against leaping to conclusion. He said, "Poor Mona Lisa, she's always been diagnosed with something she almost certainly never had. If a doctor today diagnosed someone only on the basis of how their face looked, we wouldn't take them seriously. Art is art, and a portrait, even done by Leonardo, is usually about so much more than likeness, let alone health. This is likely for the art of the future as the art of the past." So yeah, art, I agree with that person. Art is art. If we end up portraying people from today, for example, somebody wants to make a painting about Demi Moore, and clearly she's been on the weight loss drugs and quite a bit of plastic surgery. I don't think I think somebody in the future, especially with how technology has advanced and how technology will advance in the future, isn't going to look back and be like, look back at art from 2026 and be like, well, this is what we're supposed to look like in 2020 or
Nah.
in 2036 or 2336 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a
What
reach.
can we look at the Mona Lisa really quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to diagnose her with hypothyroidism.
I want to diagnose Mona Lisa. Oh God. All right. Okay. So there's Mona.
So what do you think?
I think that
Smo?
no, I don't think she's small at all. I think that
I don't
she
think so
looks like a
either.
normal, I would say she looks healthy for that time. I mean, people
Yeah.
were like starving and stuff, right? Um,
I don't think
Hashi,
she probably would be considered what average is today. I don't
yeah,
think she's anything like I don't even from this look alone, she doesn't even look fat to me, to be
no,
honest.
I'm not seeing fat. I'm seeing maybe a round face, but I also know that
Yeah.
round faces were idolized back then. And so she probably
Hmm.
didn't look like this. And he painted her like this because this is probably what he thought was beautiful, or maybe not. I don't
Hmm.
know. I can't, I'm not Leonardo. But I wonder if the person who modeled for the Mona Lisa even was this plump. I'm sure that she probably wasn't. I'm wondering if maybe she was thinner. I don't know. You know. Oh, she doesn't look plump in my video. Hold on a second. Let me change that for you guys. There we go. So that's what she looks like.
Yeah,
I
to
have
me,
the
I
video
don't even think she
skewed.
really looks plump. She just doesn't look lean. So to me, there's a difference between like being lean in being like, I don't even think she'd be what I would consider mid-sized. I think she's just average. Like I think
Yeah, I
she
think she's
looks
just
like she
average
has an
also.
average body type. Like I do think people don't understand sometimes like what an average woman looks like anymore because of social
Mm-hmm.
media. It's like
Mm-hmm.
this is giving like she's probably fertile.
Mm-hmm.
She might be a mom, you know, it's like it's that kind of thing. It's nothing crazy at all. And
Yeah.
I don't think I would call her skinny, but I wouldn't say she's even overweight. She's
No.
average.
Yeah, I would say
So
she's
it's like
average.
she's just not lean, which I don't think women in general don't need to be lean. That's not really necessary, you know, because women can have a bit more body fat on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she looks fine.
Yeah. I
Maybe,
think
like you said, a little round in the face, but
yeah, but you know who also has been like thin and has a round face? Like I think, you know, people have round faces. I have a naturally round face.
mhm,
Drew Barrymore also, I think that
mhm.
every time I see the Mona Lisa, I think about Drew Barrymore from the 90s because she was, you know, fit and average, but she also had a
Mhm.
round face. Let me share a picture really quick. I'm trying to share a picture of her when she's not like a minor because that's different.
It's also weird how the toxic ritualistic fat women, they say the average is fat. It's like it's not. It's weird.
All right, so I don't know if you can. It's kind of blurry, but Mona Drew
Yeah.
Barrymore is fit here. She's thinner. She's average size, but she also has a round
Yeah.
face.
Yeah,
So
I mean, that's actually you did clock it pretty well. They do have
yeah,
similar
they
faces.
they have very similar
Yeah,
faces. Every time I
I
see her,
don't
I
think
always think of
Mona
her.
Lisa's fat. So why do they, this is my question to you. Why do you think that the kind of, you know, toxic beating recorder, whatever you call it,
Hmm.
why do you think they push the idea that average is fat? Because I think that that's really weird to say that Mona Lisa's fat.
Well, the reductive side or both?
I guess both, the whole thing, the whole picture, because the original writer was a fat woman that wrote that thing or posted that
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
about Ozempic face and all that. And it's like, why are you? She'd have severe cholesterol issues and hypothyroidism. Like
yeah.
she wouldn't. She looks normal. I'm like, she has a normal weight.
Oh,
So
okay. So
why
I
do they
think
say that average is fat?
well, yeah, okay, so you and I are saying that Mona is average. I think they
Yeah.
say that because they want to normalize those things for today. So they're saying, look at this woman who was, you know, held up as, and you know, she was painted and she's the most famous painting at the Louvre. And she, you know, she probably had cholesterol issues. Like they're trying to normalize the high BMI, cholesterol, and hypothyroidism
Yeah.
problems as like as something that would come along with being beautiful, which they believe being obese is beautiful. I guess that's my interpretation.
I guess. Well,
Yeah,
because to
but what do
me,
you
it's
think?
like I just I think that they try to push the idea that you can only be fat or skinny. You can't be
Mm,
anything else. And so it's like to me, you can be average, you can be neither. You can also be like mid-size, which I talked about on my channel, which is where you're
mm,
fat but not fat. But she's
yeah,
not even that. She's just not lean. And there's a difference
yeah,
between being lean and being average or thin. Like you can just be, and especially as a woman, she's probably a healthy weight. It's like I think people forget that women in general do and should have more body fat than a
hmm,
man, you know?
hmm,
That doesn't mean that I think women that are very thin are ugly or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
right.
just saying, like,
But no,
if you
like
look
it's
at like the
like medically
distribution of
necessary.
averages,
Yeah,
yeah, and then also like the average woman will be more average. So she would have more fat on her, but it's just a layer of fat. It's not like even being overweight. That's not
no,
even
yeah,
overweight. It's like
yeah. I don't know.
they've lost
I
it.
yeah. I don't know why they would
There's
think
no
that she's
nuance.
fat.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. We do need to, I think even activistically, we need to push average again because it's like people don't know what an average woman's body looks like. I mean,
Well, I
like you
also
said,
think
probably
that
the Drew Barrymore, they might have thought she was fat back then too, but she
I
wasn't at
absolutely
all.
think that they do. Yeah, I absolutely think that they do. Even when I was, you know, in my reductive, you know, issues and stuff like that,
Mhm.
people still looked at pictures of my face and thought that I was fat. But if you look, away, because I have a naturally round face, like I have a heart shaped
Mhm.
face. I'm part Filipino. We have round faces,
Mhm.
but Drew Barrymore wasn't fat in any of these photos, and people absolutely
Mhm.
still believe that she was fat. She just
Mhm.
has a chubby face. It's not really chubby. She just has a round bone
Mhm.
structure. And let me see here really quick. Hold on a second. I wonder if this is the picture that they were seeing.
Now that I would be like, yeah, there's something going on.
They're like, oh my god, she has hypothyroidism.
Yeah, that I would be like, she does. She's got mega moon.
All right, let's move on. This just in, weight loss is impossible. You do even more research and learn that turning a fat person into a thin person is as scientifically possible as climbing Mount Everest without dying, without a Sherpa, and without thousands of dollars. And that constant yo-yo dieting and abusing your body into temporary thinness damages your health. Chasing thinness for 80 years is causing the ill health itself. Wait a second, I gotta reread that because it's so stupid that I'm also feeling
Mm.
stupid when I read it. Okay. You do even more research and learn that turning a fat person into a thin person is as scientifically possible as climbing Mount Everest without dying, without a Sherpa, and without thousands of dollars. And that constant yo yo dieting and abusing your body into temporary thinness damages your health. Chasing thinness for 80 years is causing the ill health itself. Okay. After a while, you go directly into the source and look at weight science research. You realize that almost every single study begins with the conclusion that fatness must be bad and unhealthy, which severely affects the validity and credibility of the study, as well as affecting the results. You find out how every weight loss success study is extremely flawed, paid for by weight loss corporations, and intentionally, what does that say? Ended?
Ended.
Oh, they blacked it out. After a
Mhm.
short amount of time with a minuscule number of participants because that threw me off. Ended after a short amount of time and with a minuscule number of participants because that's the only way to make the study a success. You find tons of studies that actually show how impossible long-term weight loss is, how there's an obesity paradox where fat people can actually have better health and longer lifespans than thin people, how dieting is extremely how dieting is severely damaging the human body.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, they blurred out obesity. Well, they slurred out obesity, which already I can't take this person seriously. Second, chasing thinness for 80 years is causing the ill health itself. If you're chasing thinness for 80 years, you're living 40 years longer than most people who are morbidly obese. Just saying.
Mm.
Just
I think
saying.
too, like the to me, it's hard to talk about without mentioning the TR or beating recorder because
Hmm.
that's what that is. It's like you don't
Yeah.
allow yourself to actually succeed. And we're talking about bingo, that
Yeah.
one. You don't allow yourself to succeed because the goal is for it to never end. And
Hmm.
so there is a psychological drive for it to never end because you don't want to have to actually think about other things or like get a life. Basically, you want to just like
Yeah.
be obsessed with it or you want to be able to always go back to it. So you don't ever finish because you're just like, well, I have to just keep doing this and da, da, da. And it's like,
Hmm.
it's because you're so obsessed with it. So a lot of people that get that big in the first place, especially if you're talking like huge, there is something mental going on. And so all those studies are going to show that where either that or they're going to show like average people, like Mona Lisa, who probably started where she's at and maybe lost 10 pounds and then gained that 10 pounds back over 5 years. Well, that doesn't really matter because you're just kind of shuffling around average. That's whatever. That's like a normal weight fluctuation, basically. But if we're talking like you're 300 pounds as a woman, there's usually something going on.
Yeah.
That's if you're not in that problem, you're at the very least subclinical or there's some
Yeah.
serious health issues going on. Like it's
Absolutely.
not something cute that just happened. It's like, ooh, it's
Yeah.
like maybe you have hypothyroidism and PCOS and you have this and you're subclinical with the mental and you got the, it's like, ooh, you have some beliefs of people that have those issues like being fat makes me safe That's a
Yeah.
belief of it. Or
Yeah.
weight loss is genetic. That's another belief of it. Like, and maybe you're not fully creating a ritual, so you're not totally, diagnosable, but you're right there. You got to have something going on to be 300 pounds and be like, this is normal. No, it's
Mm-mm.
not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that they conflate those two things. And what you'll see is the person who goes from class one obese to just being average weight, that's probably the most likely to succeed in terms of long-term downsizing because it's a steady amount of weight. So it's not something passive like an average person losing 10 pounds and then gaining it back.
Right.
And it's also not huge because there doesn't tend to be these bingo issues or super deep mental health issues. So that class one to normal weight group, they're probably the most successful because they're just like, oh, I was kind of lazy and just kind of being a flop. And I just
Mm-hmm.
changed the diet and then I'm thin now. And then they
Yeah.
just stay that way. That's really common. But that's why in the US, it has to be culturally enforced that that's not possible because it is so possible for people to go from class one to not. That
Yeah.
if people saw that, they'd see the reality of weight realism and caloric realism, and they can't handle it. So they
Mm-hmm.
constantly will pressure you to not do it because
Yeah.
they know it's successful. That's my opinion, but
That's
that's
what
what
you
I've
think. Yeah.
witnessed. We were talking on my channel about how you've been pressured to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about it happens. It
Yeah.
happened to me too. It's an
Yeah.
American thing, but
I
yeah.
think part of American culture is like they see somebody like I look average, but I know that I feel like the average goalpost has gotten higher and higher and higher since 2000. So like now average American is like 180 pounds. Like that's average American. I feel right. Would you say?
Or yeah, I mean, used to be like 160 for like a
Yeah.
woman, but that was average.
Uh,
Maybe it is going up.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it is higher now, and I feel, and I was telling my boss, I was telling this on Alex's episode. So if you haven't watched that, go and watch that. But I was talking to my boss who is naturally thin. I don't know how she does it. She's got like, I don't know. We don't know. We're not, maybe I'll cut that out. I know that people get really like triggered by the word naturally thin. She's never had anything hormonally issue with her, I don't
Yeah.
think. But she we were talking about I was talking about her what I was going to do with the weekend and I was going to donate some of my old fat clothes because I feel like they're hindering me by like I have this safety net, if I get fat at least I don't have to buy new clothes, but they're also hindering me by like subconsciously me feeling like I know I'm going to get fat again because I have these
Mhm.
clothes around. Like I feel like it's almost okay because I have these clothes around. So I'm trying to get rid of them spiritually, just like cleanse, right? And she was
Intention.
like, yeah, she was like, well, I was telling her I needed to lose like 30 more pounds, and she was like absolutely appalled. She was like, what do you mean? Like you've been maintaining, like I thought you were done. And I was like, yeah, I maintained, but I'm ready to like, we're starting over again because I'm still technically
Mhm.
obese. And she was absolutely appalled. She's like, you do not look obese at all. And I was like, well, I am, I
Mhm.
am. Right. I am obese technically. I've been like fluctuating 5 pounds between like 175 and 180. And I just had to lock in again. I have to recalibrate my
Mhm.
macros and like, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm going through. And as far as like locking in, my life is great though. But like as far as like locking
Mhm.
in, I am going through that. But yeah, like people are, and she was like, you do not need to lose another pound. Like you look great. You don't have to do anything else. Like you look fine. And yeah, it's just people see 180 pounds and they go, that's a normal size body. That's like what we're supposed to be at. And like, I don't think so. I love my body where I'm at. Yeah, I do. I do think that, my waist is getting snatched, right? But I do have
Mhm.
more work to do. Like, I think that,
Mhm.
the excess adipose tissue is, hormonally active. We know that. And it's
Mhm.
gonna, if it's just not good, right? But also the
Right.
other thing too is I am 180 pounds. I don't have a big, like, I don't have a lot of soft gut. What's the bad fat?
Visceral.
Yeah, it feels very visceral. Like my fat feels visceral. Like I feel like I need to lose a lot more visceral fat. And I
Mhm.
do have like fat legs and I have fat arms, but like I don't know. If you were to look at my body in a bikini right now, the shape is there, but it's very firm fat, I guess, and that's like the most dangerous kind, I think. So I do have quite a bit. I've got a ways to go, and I got to get rid of it.
Yeah, because I've seen because I think you had me like diagnose you one time because you're like, well, where
Yeah.
am I at? Because
Hmm.
and I told her that she was mid, but I feel like you're lower mids. Like I do think you're kind of towards that, but you kind of carry it well. So from a visual assessment, I think it's mostly your arms and legs that are
Yeah.
keeping you in that mid zone. But I mean, you even said your height to waist ratio is good.
Yeah.
So that's why I could see that. But it's like you're you're almost there, you know.
Yeah, I
But I
know.
think
It's like
people
it's just
just
like that wall, man. As soon as I get down to like
yeah,
almost overweight, it's like, no, bitch. I don't know what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. But I think it's a tricky one for sure. It was hard for me too. It took me a while,
Hmm.
honestly. It took me from I want to say like November of 2024 until April of 2025 to get out of obesity.
Hmm.
And then I just went. I was like, I'm out of here, you know. Then
Yeah.
I went full alphabet and I was like, I'm done. So by the summer I
Ah.
was done. But that's the thing too, is like you once you get out of obesity, it starts to get a little bit easier from a motivation standpoint. But it's also like, I don't know, you get really moody, you know. I don't know, it's weird. I wonder if you'll have
We'll
that
see.
too.
I don't know, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't been just like regularly overweight in a long time, so
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
weird feeling, but it's not it's obviously better and you can lift a lot. Like you feel healthier for sure. Like people don't talk about that, but part of for me it's like I was very mega bitch, but I just had so much vitality. I was very like I had so much vitality when I wasn't obese. Vanity is different for
Yeah.
sure. And you'll
Hmm.
see it because it's like damn, it is a
Hmm.
huge difference. But you're kind of at like for me it was kind of beginning of my mid era, end of my bra era. You know, it's like you're not that motivated, it's tricky. But
Yeah.
I we talked a bit about it on my channel, and we think Robin has a little bit of trauma from her
Mm.
past, so
Yeah.
which that's valid. So it's hard.
But we're gonna get through it because
You're
guess
gonna do
what?
it.
Everything else in my life is great. If that's all I have
Yeah,
to focus on, that's amazing, right? I
yeah.
think.
And
How
well, and
lucky
it's
am
also
I?
it's the time, so you got to do it if things, especially when things are good or stable in other areas of life, that's when you can sit and do that work, you know.
Yeah, you're
So
absolutely right. Yeah, you're right. Wow, I'm like coming to like this has been so therapeutic for me today because I am coming to the conclusion like, damn, Robin, like your life is super good. Like, why don't you just like take the time for yourself and just lock in and, you have everything else is great, right? Let's just do
mhm.
it, Then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. But anyway, back to this though, I feel like this person is mentioning like a lot of weight loss studies as being bullshit, but we can like turn the conversation
Mhm.
around and say that a lot with some of their studies and articles that they bring up with like
Mhm.
how obesity is completely fine. Like I don't know if you saw that. I'm gonna do another episode on that chick, that Vinnie Wellsby thing where she was talking or they were talking about
Mm.
51 ways
Mm.
that being fat is great or something like that, or like 41 ways being fat is great, and they listed a bunch of the links or a bunch of their sources, and all the sources were just like terrible sources. And I will be doing an extra episode this week about that because I had like 7 people send me that because they were like, you have to cover this person,
Yeah.
and I was just like, yeah, I will, because Vinny's been covered on the channel quite a bit, but yeah, that
Yeah.
really all of their sources are they're all just like fat sources, like they're not legitimate like they're all fat. They're not legitimate like actual studies, they're all just articles, or I mean they're .org, some of them are, I'll get into it, but they're just not reliable in my opinion.
Mm.
And me, when I lie to make up for my ignorance on calories and weight, being fat is inherently healthy actually. All fat people on average are way healthier than
Uh,
thin people. Thin people would not exist naturally without modern or low schmallery food and skinny pills. Thinness is unnatural and gross and wrong and should not be
wow.
accepted or accommodated. Thinness in media is promoting death itself. If you're thin, you should be harassed until you are pressured into gaining a normal amount of weight.
Saying the quiet part out loud. I say that all the time. I might have to
Yeah,
screenshot this, post it on as a post on my channel. That's
I'm
how
gonna
they
send you a
feel.
picture. I'm sending a picture right
Yeah,
now.
that's how they feel about it. So
Yep, they absolutely
they,
do. They
which,
don't. And I guess, maybe this person could be a troll, right? We don't know what this person
Mhm.
even looks like, really. But do I think it, I actually do believe that a lot of people in a lot of extremists in the fat acceptance community are like this, where
Mhm.
they believe that being fat is actually healthier than being thin, but yet they can't walk a flight of stairs, right?
Yeah.
And they, 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 they're so hateful because they've been wronged or something. I don't know. Maybe one person probably bullied them IRL.
Mhm.
So now they've got
Especially
this
recently.
crazy,
Right.
yeah, right. They've got this crazy vendetta on thin people or even people who are just fit. When I think of thin, I don't think fit. I think like less than fit. Not less than, but just like skinnier than just like a regular
Mhm.
fit person, right? So, thinness in media is promoting death itself. No, ma'am. Fat acceptance is promoting death itself.
Yes,
I'm just gonna be 100% real with you. Fat acceptance is a death cult,
absolutely.
and I will stand on that until I die. I'm gonna do
Mhm.
a couple more, and then I
Yeah.
actually do have to cut it a little bit short, but we're good. All right, weight loss might
Yeah.
not be the solution for everything. It can, however, alleviate symptoms of certain conditions when someone is overweight or obese. Sometimes symptoms disappear completely, just like me. No longer insulin resistant. I was sending Alex and Angelica all of my skinny blood glucose readings because they were all
We
like
love.
fantastic numbers. Yes, I having a full day of beautiful blood readings even after eating. I'm just like, man, bitch, you did the work. Like you really did it.
Mhm.
I think that was another reason why I'm being held back though, because I'm like, I feel like I've hit such a big goal that I want to relax subconsciously, but no, we got to lock in. Okay, symptoms of certain conditions when someone is overweight or obese. Sometimes your symptoms disappear completely. It isn't that worth taking a little bit better care of
Yes.
yourself? Yes, period. I'm actually going to screenshot that as well. Oh, wait. I'll send you the screenshot in a second, though.
Mhm. No problems.
Okay. Wow. It's really interesting how you can look up literally any condition and it'll say that one of the things you should do to treat it is lose weight. Like, oh, really? Always for every single disorder? That's really interesting. Such an interesting coincidence. Every condition in the world is caused by being fat. Listen, there are so many conditions in the world today that were like almost not existent maybe 200 years ago. I'm not saying that they didn't exist. I'm saying like very, very less numbers. So
Mhm.
like type 2 diabetes, less numbers. Um,
Mhm.
children didn't have non-alcoholic fatty liver.
Mhm.
I think like more kids started getting that maybe in the late 90s and pulling that,
Mhm.
out of very, very deep part of my brain as far as like my photographic memory. But, and I'm trying to think of other ones. There are, and even if like these diseases did happen over 200 years ago, the the number of occurrences happen more now, like are more prominent now because everybody is fucking fat.
I think it's hugely stressing on the system to be obese, and especially I talk about it a lot in terms on my channel. I have made a lot of noise about hypothyroidism being majorly affected by obesity and even caused by obesity, especially if you have a fatty liver. So people don't understand, but your liver has to process thyroid hormone. So if you have a fatty liver, your liver can't convert it. So even if you're producing, you are going to be hypo because you have a fatty liver. So they don't acknowledge that. And the bigger you are, the worse. So then you will have internal estrogens being produced by that fat, which estrogen opposes thyroid hormone. So even if you're producing and converting, if you have so much fat on you, you're still going to be hypo. Now, hypothyroidism, it causes a huge host of problems, ranging from autoimmune issues to that can then feed into it, right? Like it contributes to so many different things. So that I think that that is the main physical mechanism for a lot of the health issues caused by obesity. It is literally the hypothyroidism, the inflammation that also leads to hypothyroidism too. It really goes back to that. It's the same thing with like being an alcoholic. Most of the health issues with alcoholism have to do with hypothyroidism as well because it affects the liver, right?
Yeah.
So they're similar, but it's like people just don't care about that at all. If you even bring up the thyroid in a conversation about fatness, everybody freaks out and says that it's stupid and don't ever talk about it. Honestly, like, or they're like, that's an excuse or whatever. And it's like, no,
Oh
that's
yeah.
part of the physical. reason why this is so bad for you. But that's why I think it helps so many things, because if you take care of your thyroid, it really helps your entire body because it controls a lot of things in your body.
Yeah.
And so it's not that it's a cure all for every single thing, but it definitely will make almost everything worse. And that's just purely metabolic. Now, if we're
Hmm.
talking like mechanical weight, excess estrogen, that also causes so many issues. If you're talking, your knees, that kind of stuff, back pain, all that. I
Yeah.
mean, there's just a whole host of issues, blood pressure, like
Right.
it's harder to absorb nutrition. So then you start having nutrient issues,
Yeah, I'm
which,
trying to think
yeah,
of a disease or a disorder where I'm trying to think of one that's common, a disease or disorder that isn't improved by
yeah.
weight loss. And I can't really think of anything. Like I was thinking maybe depression, but no. Wait, my depression was improved by weight loss. I'm actually getting off of
Mhm.
my depression medication now. I'm
Mhm.
titrating. Um, I don't know. Can you think of any disorder that's common that maybe losing a little bit of weight wouldn't help?
I don't know if I can think of common, but maybe like I think it's called like sarcopenia or something, like where you don't have a lot of muscle.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
could be improved
I
by
mean,
building
but
muscle.
by
Yeah.
building muscle, yeah, yeah, yeah. But
So
like, I
that
mean, I
might
guess
be,
maybe, yeah, I guess maybe not like a cold, right? That's not going to be improved by
yeah,
losing weight. Yeah, you're going to have
something
it
like
for
that.
2 weeks and be done. Yeah, but I mean, like, I mean, all of
'Cause I'm
my
like,
stuff,
maybe I want to say like maybe osteoporosis, but I mean, we're really grasping here,
we're
you know,
grasping. Yeah, we're reaching into
and
the depths of our
yeah,
minds for these
with
disorders.
obesity, especially severe obesity too, you will reach a point where you start getting osteoporosis because first of all, the weight on the bones is worse than the actual benefit of the weight. And second of all, again, all those hormonal issues, like you're living on adrenaline all the time, that breaks down muscle, bone,
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So it's like it only works up to a certain point. But again, a lot of the time when we're talking about gaining weight for health, it is gaining muscle. I don't,
Yeah.
unless if you are literally under, so if you have a
Hmm.
reductive issue, then yes, you need to put fat on. But it's like nobody questions that being under will affect almost everything. But you bring up being over, and it's like, oh, this doesn't matter. It's like, no, it's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's just as
Yeah, it does
bad.
matter. We're a Goldilocks body, man. We are a
Yes.
Goldilocks body, right?
Every
There
single, everything is, every living creature, basically, and certainly mammals, which we are, needs to be within a range.
Yes, I don't know if I was telling you that maybe in the group chat, but I was like there's no single animal on the planet except for the US. except for I was going to say except for Americans, except for humans, there's no animal on the planet that is naturally morbidly obese. They all
Yeah.
have to be in a specific body size because if you're too fat, you can't run from predators or you can't catch prey. If you're too thin, you can't run and catch prey and you won't
Mhm.
be able to have the energy to run from predators, etc. There's a everybody has a Goldilocks,
Mhm.
perfect body size and body weight and body composition, and we're the outliers. We're the ones that can eat constantly because we have no natural predators. We have no, everything is just given to us. We're so used to instant food and fast food, and
Mhm.
it's normalized to sit on your couch and scroll on your phones all day while you eat a bag of chips. Like, it's
Mhm.
banana
I
bonkers
agree.
to me. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys did find another common disorder. Would ADHD
Comment.
be approved by
Yeah,
losing
it
weight?
it is. It's
Yeah, it
improved
is.
by not being obese. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
complicating factor.
And
Obesity makes it worse.
right, and eating specific foods or avoiding specific
Yeah.
foods. The call is coming from inside the house. Anonymous asked, "Oh, this is from Tumblr. Do you guys miss Anonymous on Tumblr? Oh my god. I could bully so many people." Just kidding. All right. Honestly, those anti-fat acceptance bloggers who pearl clutch about fetism should
Wow.
KTS. Yeah, that's crazy. I regret trying to
I'm
nicely
pathetic.
explain. Yeah, yeah. I regret trying to nicely explain to them how badly their mentalities affected me as a fat person with reductive BD history. But good fucking lord, the concern trolling. And then the person responded, they're in a cult. You have to remember they're in a cult. They cannot be reached because they've been brainwashed. And for them to question any of it means their
Oh
whole
my
world
God.
comes crumbling down and they're not strong enough to endure that. Plus, malnourishment keeps you in constant brain fog.
Oh
That's the
my God.
reason fascism is so heavily invested in keeping women carving. You could literally say the same exact thing. I swear to God, it's like dueling dragons, you guys. You can say the exact same thing about fat acceptance
Mhm.
and the fat acceptance cult. Like the call definitely is coming from inside the house, but
Yeah.
They're in a cult
Oh.
because they don't think that fetism is good.
Yeah, which is just wild. And to me, it's crazy too how they'll be like, I have this reductive problem. No, you probably just had bingo the whole time. There's a reductive
yeah.
side to that, and people never talk about it. But if stuff always comes back on every single time, that's bingo. It's
Yeah.
not anything else because the other ones, it doesn't. That's the whole point, is that
Mhm.
they don't, you
Yeah.
know? So if you're truly in a reductive issue, it's not going to come back on. If it always does, then it's bingo. It doesn't matter how long it goes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. So when you look at that from that perspective, all it is they think they left it. They didn't. They're still in the same problem they had the whole time. And then this person is probably severe, right? So the projection, the whole world comes crumbling down and they're not strong enough to endure that. They've built their whole lives on that mental health issue. And
Yeah.
I understand that because I've done that before. Again, I was out of me, you, and Angelica, I was the most severe. And I
Yeah.
built my whole life around it. So when I got out of it, my whole world had to come down and I had to rebuild it. And that's very hard. But I did it because I wanted to live. You can't stay
Right.
in that and live. You will die. Like, I know I'm laughing, but
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, it's
Yeah.
bad. You will, because especially when you're that crazy where you've made your whole world around it. Oh my gosh, like it's very bad. So you're not going to last that long. So you have
Mhm.
to break it down and get rid of it. But they won't do it. They get very
No.
resistant and it's scary and it causes anxiety and all this stuff. So they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But
I don't understand people
yeah.
who fear change like that. Like I understand that change is scary, but to be so like heels dug into your ideology and refuse to change. I'm thinking about Tess Holiday right now. When I
Mhm.
like I can imagine Tess Holiday absolutely talking like this or some for some reason, but
Mhm.
she's so in denial that clearly she probably has something wrong with her medically.
Mhm.
Um which is why I think that she was shopping around for health insurance. But the fact that they are so, I don't understand how somebody can be so dug into their ideology, knowing that it is absolutely ending
Mhm.
them, their well being and ending themselves slowly, that they won't change. Like I just don't understand that.
Mhm.
You know, I'm so glad that you and Angelica like were able to be like, this is not good,
Mhm.
and like leave. Fat
Well, I
acceptance
I
or
took
leave.
it I took it all the way to the end, but those same like, that rigidity. I have a rigidity, which I know you're somewhat friendly to Astro Girly Pop Talk, but
Hmm.
for my Astro girlies and boilies, I have a lot of fixed signs. So I have a lot of Leo, I have Aquarius and Scorpio. That's all like stubborn. So it's very stubborn. So I get very rigid. And I also got a little bit of Virgo in me too, which that's kind of probably where the TR, it goes into that. But because it's obsessive, which I'm
Obsessive,
obsessed with
yeah.
obsession.
Perfectionist,
But
yeah.
and the Scorpio is obsessive too. But regardless, the point is that same rigidity, I could be that rigid in recovery. So you sometimes have to change your the way your personality is. You have to kind of shift it. So you can kind of become obsessed with recovering too. And that saved me. So because that same obsession almost killed me, I was able to redirect it. And that's what saved me ultimately, because I had to be extremely strict for like 3 years, and I mean like everything I ate had to be for my thyroid, every single thing. I never drank. I never, it's like I couldn't do anything like that. I had to be so strict because it was so bad, but it worked. And I'm here, and I'm alive. So it's like, and I've weight normalized and all that stuff. So it's like you do get there, but every every pound I don't have post beating recorder, as you'd call it, it stayed off. So you have to think about that too. It's like it was always fake.
Yeah.
It's not real. It and I think what's so toxic about it is just that they push it onto everybody and they can't help it.
Mhm.
And people, but like you said, they say that we're the ones in a cult. And it's like, no, you have a deep mental health issue. Like, and it is
Yes.
similar to a cult. It is because
Yeah.
you form groups based on it.
Yeah.
So it's bad. It's real
Yeah.
bad.
They form groups in it. They have subgroups as well. Like there are some people
Mhm.
that are more like, this is political. This is a political statement. Your body's a political statement. Then they have the others who are like, I'm just trying to exist,
Mhm.
or there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. And yeah, they're absolutely in a cult. Like I'm a little
Mhm.
over. I'm so over it, you dude. Like I Michael is
Mhm.
doing some more research for another future project that him and I are doing, and like he was like, "Hey, try to find more like YouTubers that are here. I'm gonna change the screen really quick. Find more YouTubers that are actually fat acceptance." So not like anti-fat acceptance people, but like actual YouTubers that are doing more than just beauty, but like actual fat acceptance on YouTube. And I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, most of them are on like strictly on TikTok and on Instagram, and I think it's
Mhm.
it's because that's where the young people are. Yeah, and I'm like, I think I'm disgusted, and I'm saddened for our future youth, our youth, and because I think, yeah, I mean more people in their like teens are on Instagram and TikTok, would you agree?
Mhm.
Versus just
Mhm.
YouTube. Like I feel like I get more of my
Mhm.
entertainment from YouTube than I do on the other apps.
Mhm.
And I think that's why a lot of the people from Fat Acceptance are on Instagram, is because they're trying to recruit more people, more young people into their cult. And it's making me, I was like getting fuming. Like I
Mhm.
was like
I, I
sickened.
think I think there's a lot of things with it because there's also like I mentioned in my activistic video with you and Angelica, like TR or beating recorder talking points, they're short. It's
Yeah.
easier to just say something quick. So they
Yeah.
like the short form content. Whereas when
Yeah.
you
Because there's
argue
not a lot
against
of,
it,
yeah.
yeah, you have to really go deep because there is a lot of nuance because it's again like we had to talk so much about how an average woman's body type exists and is a valid healthy category and
Hmm.
is not fat because they will push that it is, which is a huge issue. That is a very like TR or beating recorder reinforcing idea that to be average as a woman is to automatically be fat. That's not true. That's
No. Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Mona Lisa is not fat. It's like that's insane to think that. And people lose touch and it's very easy on those platforms to lose touch and the algorithm just pushes the same thing over and over again. Like I have different types of algorithms in mine, I think because I do pay attention to so much fat activism that I just have a lot of different types of things. Like I don't think mine knows what I believe or not or whatever. So
Right.
I get
Right.
so much random stuff in mine, but I prefer that because then I'm not in an echo chamber.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't mind it, but I interact with things that I disagree with. I interact with things that I agree with. And that, you know, we have to understand like algorithms are not evil. It's also how we use them. Like, are you
Yeah.
obsessed with being in an echo chamber? That's kind of on you too, so it is a little bit, and maybe there needs to be like social media warnings or something because you have to kind of, I think you should challenge yourself and be more open-minded and
Yeah.
look at different perspectives and then actually think for yourself. That's my opinion.
I agree.
But because I have the weirdest, I have the craziest feed ever.
Your algorithm is sickening.
Well, I have a lot of like
What you-
hetero FEED ish stuff going
Yeah.
on. And
Yeah.
there's one in particular, I might have to react with members at some point, but I just always like to troll Jennifer and Robin with her. And It's just her like bending over in the store and stuff like this.
Yes. Oh my God. Like where? Well, and then the other thing too is like Angelica and I were like, we're reporting this every time we see it because it is like it's like
Yeah,
PORN. You know, it is.
it's so cringe though. But I always troll and I'm like, this is my next era. But I'm totally kidding. But I just
Oh
I'm gonna be like
shit.
her. No, but I'm totally joking. But it's just like obviously I'm not into that. So that shows like how open my algorithm is, you know?
Hmm.
So it's like I think you need to challenge yourself too. Like I think it's up to the person too. And that's like a different conversation. But
Yeah.
that leads to like, should kids be on social media? I'm not really sure, you know?
I don't think so, man. I
Yeah.
think kids should be outside getting their knees scraped up on some grass and
Yeah.
like, I'm saddened. I'm saddened for our youth, and I feel like because you and I are close in age, I feel like our generation was like
Mhm.
the last like drink from a water hose generation. You know,
Mhm.
like, do you ever play outside and drink from the hose?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
So
drank from the hose, but I definitely was outside. And
yeah, I
I
was outside.
also, we went to the mall.
Yeah.
We go to the mall, we
Yeah.
talk shit. You know,
Yeah.
I was in the mean girl group in high and in junior high, and we talk shit about everybody. And I get into feuds, and I mean, it was a time. It was a great
Yeah.
time. That's
It
why
was a great time. Yeah, I feel
I
like
mean,
I mean the kids could never nowadays, dude. The kids could never
no,
nowadays. Yeah.
we were
Like,
also really vicious, but our generation was like passive aggressive vicious. So I'm like, I
oh
feel like
yeah.
because Gen X was like vicious, vicious. I feel like they really bullied you. You know what I mean? Like it was like
Yeah, yeah,
physical.
yeah. Like
Ours, it was
physical
like,
bullying.
you know,
Yeah,
ours,
like
it was very mean girls. Yeah.
it was also like exclusion too. Like I feel like a lot of
Mhm.
ostracization was a huge part of like the bully culture back then. And it was for stupid
Mhm.
shit, like for being,
Mhm.
you know, because my armpit smelled or some fucking weird thing. I don't know. But 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 like yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to bring that back, but I mean our we were not. I wish I can go back in time and hold off longer. It took me, it took me like 2 years after knowing my husband before I got a smartphone. Like I didn't want a
Mhm.
smartphone. I was like, no, I don't like it. I hate touchscreen. I still hate touchscreen.
Mhm.
Baby, bring back the scoop. Bring back the sidekick. Like I love buttons on my phone. I wish I can go back in time and hold off a little bit longer on the smartphone because I knew once I got the smartphone, that's when the obsession with like photographing everything
Mhm.
and with like connecting with people online instead of like in person became, more important to me than some of other aspects of my life, you know?
Mhm. Well, I
And
think
I've definitely
to
gotten a lot better about it.
I think that there's balance with it. Like there's good and bad, but I think that we often don't take responsibility for how we use something. It's similar to like AI, for example,
Yeah.
that's the new thing. How are we using it?
Hmm.
And people don't use it correctly. So it's like people love to abdicate their responsibility to an app or to AI or to these things, and they are just tools. It's similar with like Ozempic or whatever,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like it's a
yeah.
tool.
It's a
How are you
tool.
using it? And it's your
Yeah.
responsibility, especially as an adult. But that's why I'm kind of iffy on if, you know, kids should be allowed on social media because they're going to fall prey to an algorithm. I don't think they can help that, you know? Whereas
Yeah,
as
I
an
don't
adult, you can control it.
you can control it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a mom and I don't
Mhm.
think I will be one
Me
day,
either.
Yeah. But I don't think that kids should be on the internet. I really don't. I don't think kids should be on the internet. We've seen so much bad shit happen with it. Like I'm done with it. Like let's go back to the Stone Age. I'm so done with
Mhm.
it. Like I get like I mean I know that I'm on YouTube and stuff like that, but you guys are
Mhm.
adults, you know. Most of you. I hope you're all adults actually.
Mhm.
But I just don't. I don't think that kids have the. I think that phones make you dumber.
Mhm.
I know that they make me I was talking about this in my members video today, but I was talking about how my vocabulary is just like shot because I've not read a book, an actual physical book in so long.
Mhm.
I have audio books and Audible and all that jazz, but I want to actually read a physical book. Like that's my goal. And I feel like social media and like being addicted to phones is some kind. This is a tinfoil hat moment, but I feel like it's some kind of a tactic to keep us dumb. And like kids are already like kind of dumb, so you're just making more dumb
Mhm.
kids. And yeah, I don't think that they have the capacity
Mhm.
to turn away from bad stuff. Like you and I can watch something and be like, this is inappropriate. I'm just going to flip past. But I feel
Mhm.
like kids are not that aware to do that,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. So
No. Hot topics, man. We talked about fashion. We talked about art. We talked about
I
AI.
know.
And look at us, man. We're so learned.
I'm just amazing. I talked about amazing horror movies that the should have
Yes.
sponsored me.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
saying.
Actually, just hire
Uh,
him because he needs to have a freak out session.
I'll do
Oh
Obsession too. No, I'm just kidding. I'll do the gay version. That would be great.
my
Uh,
god! You need
but
to act
anyways,
out like to yourself in a reel or something like that. That'd be so funny.
I enjoyed this as always, and yeah, we'll definitely be collabing again. And
Yay!
I wore the
Yes.
green. You said you liked the green, so I wore it for
Oh
you.
yes, you look so handsome. Also, I like your sideburns. I was gonna say that
Oh,
earlier, but I
thank
like your
you.
sideburns. Did you get a haircut?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you look handsome. Very,
Thank
very handsome.
you.
All right, everybody. If you made it all the way to the end, what emoji should we have them leave?
Mm, I don't know if they have like the willow stick. Do they have like a branch or something? I want a branch
A branch for what?
for obsession.
Oh God. All right. If you made it this far, leave a branch or leave, I would say like the something artsy, like a paintbrush or something for the Mona Lisa.
Mona
But
Lisa. No, I'm just
yeah, leave us the Mona Lisa. Go ahead and copy paste the Mona Lisa artwork and put that in there. But yeah,
yeah.
thank you so much. If you haven't already, please consider giving me a subscribe. If you like this video, like the video, and don't forget to go watch my video with Alex on his channel.
Yes. I'm
And
obsessed. You need to come over.
he's obsessed, and he's also gay.